why shouldn't we respond to lower fertility rates with pronatalist policies? Why shouldn't we do that?
Thanks. I'm going to try to be brief. I would say that I'm going to focus on something quite specific here, which is the environmental dimension, because as we're reflecting on population trends, as all panelists have already discussed, we really need to take a kind of a broad perspective. We can't just take a snapshot of fertility at a certain moment and at a certain geographical location and extrapolate with that beyond what's realistically or scientifically possible, which is a lot of what we're seeing today. One dimension that I think we're really missing in this discussion, especially in relation to fertility decline, is how this discussion fits in relation to the environment. So it's kind of providing a physical context for this discussion, a very tangible one. When I say physical, I mean earthly context. And I think we're not doing that enough. So it's clear that global population size and the growth of our population was and continues to be a major driver of environmental degradation and climate change as we see it today. So it's a key variable in driving environmental degradation because every human has an impact on nature, whether they have a small or a large footprint. And the aggregate impacts are overwhelming ecosystems as a whole. So individual footprints are not static. They evolve with people's living conditions as wealth grows, as consumption increases or decreases. But the key message is that every person has an impact. So we're witnessing environmental degradation and climate change today on a very rapid and important scale, with climate extremes, environmental disasters that are on the rise, resource extraction, pollution, species extinction, etc. And there are many, many examples of how far we've changed and damaged our environment. And we tend to forget that this is really what provides us with the ability to flourish and live, and that these population trends will also be impacted by the future of our environmental conditions. So we're now in what's often called the Anthropocene, the age of man, and where man is demanding more of the biosphere than it can sustainably provide us. So what do we do with that in relation to population trends? How does that fit into the discourse? Well, we know that we have to equitably reduce our impact on the environment and pursue climate mitigation, climate adaptation, and that to do this, we clearly need to reduce and eliminate unsustainable consumption and unsustainable production patterns. But allowing the human population to gradually decrease in size by strengthening education and advancing reproductive rights, reproductive agency, making sure that every person truly has the number of children that they wish to have, can also tangibly contribute to this effort